Welcome to another episode of Have Game Will Travel. I'm your host, Bennett Newsome, also known as Damn It Bennett out in the gaming community. As the Director of Esports Growth and Development here at Full Sail University, I'm super passionate about exploring the diverse world of esports and gaming beyond just skill level. So whether you're a first-time listener or a returning fan, we're thrilled to have you join us for this virtual journey through the experiences of industry professionals. So get ready to engage with our guests and learn from their perspectives. And remember to submit your questions in chat and we'll get them featured here on the show. But sit back, enjoy the ride as we kick off another episode of Have Game Will Travel with the founder of College Esports News, Sheridan. Sheridan, welcome to the show. How are you doing today? Welcome.
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to
Absolutely.
be here.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. So let's just kick it off. Tell everybody who you are and what you do and just kind of a brief about you.
Of course, I am really bad at brief, but I will do my best. My name is Sheridan. I am the founder of College Esports News, formerly social media manager at Florida State Esports, so
Yeah.
fellow sort of Floridian.
Yeah.
Um,
I like that.
yeah. Um, Sometimes I'm a content creator. It's my fun little hobby.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I love it. Yeah. So that's a lot. You focus on the social side, the content side, and founding this company, College Esports News, which is fantastic. Talk to us a little bit about like why esports. How did you get involved in this? Where did this all start? Where did it begin for you?
Yeah, no, I kind of got into esports by accident. Um, I have always been a video gamer. I've always played like Minecraft. If you know me, you know that about me. Um, but I didn't know you could like compete
Yeah.
and that people were like competing and making money playing esports. I just didn't I've never been a competitive gamer, so that's why I didn't like see that kind of side of things.
Right.
And pretty much for all of my life, I was like, I'm going to be an author. I want to go to school for English. I want to work in publishing. I want to publish a book. And then I got to campus and I found the esports club and I was like, oh my goodness, I could do this?
Yeah.
That's so cool. So I was like, I have to be involved. I have to simply just have to get involved. So I am not good at video games. So I was like, well, I have skills in graphic design and photography. So let's try to do social media. And then now I'm here,
Yeah,
basically.
and here we are. I love that. What was that process like of Florida State and getting involved in that esports initiative there and to kind of taking the reins on the social strategy?
Yeah. So honestly, even finding the esports club happened by accident. I joined the casual gaming club first because
Yeah,
back then they were separate and did not want to be associated with one another.
that's typical
And
gamers, right? Like
yeah.
we're chill over here. You guys are way too crazy.
Yeah. So I was at Tabletop Tuesday playing Catan, and the esports club was just letting out from their meeting and ended up meeting a couple gamers there. And I was like, hey, that sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I want to join, I want to see what that's about. And honestly, I tried to be a competitive gamer. I joined the Hearthstone team. Never played Hearthstone in my life, but I joined the Hearthstone team and I was like, this is so fun. And then I was like, I'm really bad at this. So let me see how we can level up
Yeah.
our social media. Because at the time, we weren't really posting a ton. We weren't posting like photos or anything. We weren't like bringing people in and like showing them where they can watch us compete and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, I am going to put myself out there. I'm going to run for social media manager. I had my little Sony camera. I have a Sony A5000 at the
Yeah.
time, I think.
Oh yeah.
My dinky little camera, and I was like, let me just do this. And honestly, I just started really small. My graphics at first were just like I made them on a Google Doc and then I would screenshot it and then like upload it. And then gradually over time, I just started making these graphics. I've always done a little graphic stuff just on the
Yeah.
side, like for funsies. And then I was like, well, I could just do this. Like
Yeah.
let's do it. And I in high school I was in yearbook, so I took my yearbook skills And I transferred them to college,
Yeah.
which is really cool because yearbooks, I feel like a niche thing, but something
It
that I was
definitely
able
is,
to
right?
bring over and like has helped, I don't know, set me up for success in a way in the social media realm.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I love that you're like feeding into the things that you and the experiences and the knowledge that you have, right? And I think that makes for such like a like an important piece of the puzzle in moving forward when esports kind of has all of these avenues in and out, and like being able to tap into those experiences that you had already to be like, oh wait, this makes sense, this connects. And same goes for like the content creation side, right? Like you can really go, oh, I can utilize these skills that I already have in this sector, and it just really makes sense.
Yeah, that's for sure what happened for me because, like, I think still when I was in college, when I was doing this, when I was doing the club stuff, I was like, "Oh, well, this is just for fun. Like, I'm just gonna have
Yeah,
fun. Like, this is something I do on the side. I don't think I'll ever get a job in this. Like, this is just like the extracurriculars." And
yeah.
then I was like, "Wait, what if I actually want to do this? What if I just want to keep doing this?" And it just kind of like worked out. And explaining to my parents, like, hey, I don't, the author thing, we're just going to put that on hold for
Yeah.
now. I'm going to do this social media thing
Mhm.
and this like video game thing. And they're like, okay, what
Hmm.
does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't understand,
Yeah.
but like, we're supportive. Go
Yeah.
for it.
I love that. And hey, listen, shout out to supportive parents. Mine were the same way when I was like, listen, I'm going to stop playing music and I'm gonna play video games on the internet, like, and we're gonna see how that
Yeah,
goes. And well, here we are now. You know, who are the thoughts? So, like, it's great that
exactly.
supportive parents are helping, people get along through the pipeline here, which is great. One of the things that I really like about doing this show is I get to do like a super deep dive on any of the guests that come on, and sometimes I only know them like, oh, I know that you from College Esports News, right? That's right in front of me, it's there. But then you start to dive a little bit deeper and dig a little bit more, and I found your portfolio, which has like such a wide range of work, from short video editing and social media strategy to really incredible creative things that you've been able to be a part of, and I think that's such a good thing to have out there in this industry, is have a like portfolio that showcases your highlights. Talk to me a little bit about building that. Like, what made those things that you posted stick out to you the most?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like a portfolio in a way is such a better way to show what you're capable of as a creative person because I can describe what I've done in all of my past jobs through words and
Yeah,
through text and through numbers and all that fun stuff, but you can't really see the work that I've done
right.
in a resume in that way. So portfolios really has to be the way to go. And honestly, I've just put almost everything on there, like, because I I always get like, oh, should I tailor it more? Should
Yeah,
I like how should I approach this? But honestly, I am all of the work that I've ever made, so I feel like it should be there for
yeah.
someone to look at if they want to. Um, so I have like really old stuff. Like in 2020, randomly, I was like, what if I just made these fan graphics for the Overwatch League?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something I was excited about for some reason. I didn't even watch the Overwatch League, so I'm not even sure how or why. But I was like really inspired, so I was like, let me just do it. Um, but yeah, mostly put everything on there just to show all the things I'm capable of,
Yeah.
all the hats that I've worn as a creative because you can only say so much on a one-page resume,
Yeah.
and all of that is through text and not really through showing what I've done, what I've made. Because most of the stuff I've made is videos, graphics, social media posts. I feel like my resume is so incomplete without the portfolio aspect of it.
Yeah, it really shows the work that you've done, and the time that you've put in, because it was really great seeing some of the stuff. I mean, we dived real deep into it. Yeah, I was telling you earlier, but when we were meeting and getting ready for the show, that like, I had obviously seen you in the college esports news category, but like finding out that you have a YouTube channel with like 34,000 subscribers is like really, really cool. And I watched a ton of your content, and I think that's so awesome because as a creator myself, I mean, seeing that is inspiring, and seeing what you do and all of those different avenues is really cool. And so, talk to me a little bit about your journey on YouTube. I would love to kind of dive into that a little bit, and what got you started there.
Yeah, of course. So like most people my age, I started with a Minecraft YouTube channel when I was in middle school because I saw my favorite creators and I was like, I can do that. I can do that. And
Yep.
so I did. Um, and I started as Pebbles Plays MC because I've gone through like the whole gauntlet of different gamer tags. Like I
Yep.
started at Pebbles91601 and now I'm at like Pebs and now I just go by my real name.
Yep.
So I'm just like kind of a gamer identity crisis. But
Yeah.
um started with a Minecraft YouTube channel. Now I kind of have like the adult version of a Minecraft YouTube channel where randomly in like 2021 I was like, well, what if I just made a video essay about where all of my favorite Minecraft YouTubers are now? Like, where are they now? What
Yep.
happened to them?
Yep.
And then I made that video, and at the end of the video I went like person by person. Here's what they're doing now. Here's where you can find them. And I cut it up into these little TikToks, and I was like, let me just put them online. And the first one did okay, and the second one blew up. And I was like, this is so scary. Why is my phone blowing up? And it had like 700,000 views and so many comments, and it was really scary and overwhelming. Um, but it was exciting because everyone's like, "Oh, I love that person. I forgot about them. What are they doing?" Um, and so now how do I tie it back to now? What am I doing on YouTube now? Kind of the same.
Yeah.
I've started to take my most popular TikTok slash YouTube shorts and turning them into like a longer video
Hmm.
of like kind of celebrating their career
Yeah.
up to like why did they stop posting? If I can speculate and figure out why they stopped posting maybe. And it's just been like a fun way to connect with other people who are like, "Oh my god, I remember that person." Or I do some about like childhood like MMO games,
Yeah.
so Club Penguin, Toontown, that fun stuff. And I'm like, "Did anyone play this? Please tell me." And we get to like connect over like, "Yeah, I played that. I had this outfit or I decorated my room this way." And I'm like, "Yes, me too. That's so cool." That's been like a fun random way to connect with others. Um, and it kind of stresses me out because when it blows up, I'm like, oh, I have to like really do this
Yeah.
now.
I gotta pay
And then I don't
attention.
have time for it. So
Yeah.
then I sometimes make content. But yeah, really random side quests, adult Minecraft YouTube
Yeah.
channel kind of thing.
I love that though, but it starts at a young age. You had the interest to build this channel, to
Oh
do the
yeah.
Minecraft stuff, and it's just evolved over time, which I think is such a good pathway for a lot of creators. And I really do like the what happened to playlist, right? Like, because that is so good. Because especially when you think about like nostalgia and the things that you played,
Oh yeah.
or the people that you watched when you were younger and growing up, and kind of cutting your teeth on creating content, you're like, what did happen to them? And those seem to be very popular playlists. So, like you have that, and then the rewritten
Oh
games, which was really, really cool. And I definitely watched quite a few, and I love the what happened to, because it seems like it's like, whoa, did they do something crazy? And it's not that. Usually it's like, oh no, they grew up and they have a real job now, or a
oh
full
yeah.
time job, and like, so it was cool to like kind of go down that journey with you, and see just everything that you've been doing. You also kind of did a different direction in this as well, which I see a lot of creatives do, and other YouTubers and content creators go this avenue as well, where you find and you network with other creators, and maybe there's a bigger creator out there that you are now helping, and you're editing their videos and you're creating their short form content for them. So you worked with ASF, who has like 5 million subscribers on YouTube, and you were
Yeah.
helping build and create their short form content and editing their video and optimizing all of that. Talk to me just first how you made that connection, and like how did that gig even come to be, and then we can get into the rest.
Yeah. No. Honestly, like top 10, one of the most random moments of my life where I'm like, did that really happen?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it did really happen. That's crazy. Yeah, so I grew up watching JeromeASF. He was part of this Minecraft YouTube group called Team Crafted,
Yeah.
and I was obsessed with them. They were like the One Direction of Minecraft YouTube. Like everyone loved them. And in my first video essay, I just chose Team Crafted. Like I
Yeah.
had to. They were one of the most popular. So I was like, what happened to all these people? And so that happened, and that video did all right. It was my first video ever on that channel, obviously. And then I was like, let me start expanding these videos. Let me start doing longer ones on just one person. And so I think I did his first. He was part of a duo as part of the group. So it was him and Bayesian Canadian. And I was like, let me do a video on each of them.
Yeah.
And these videos honestly only got like 4,000 or 5,000 views. And so I was like, all right, here's the video. That's exciting. And then randomly on Twitter, Jerome followed me and I dropped to my knees in my house. I was like, whoa. Someone I made a video about can see the things I upload on the internet. And that also makes me a little scared, but I was like, this is so cool. I didn't really think anything of it. I was just like, oh, he followed me. That was back in 2023. And this past year, I decided to go on a side quest career-wise. And I was like, let me be freelance for a second. So I posted a graphic of saying like I'm looking for work, and he messaged me and once again dropped to my knees in my house. I was freaking out. I was like, what is going on? And he was like, hey, I want to start posting TikToks. And I was like, okay, cool. And I made this whole presentation for him, and I was like, here's my vision. I also ghost wrote some tweets for him as well. Said, here's my vision. Let's do this. I'll take some clips from your YouTube videos. We'll do some. I had him react to some of his old videos, which that was one of the coolest moments, because it's like you get to work with someone that you've admired, and then you get to force them to watch their old videos and react to them. God, it's such a cool moment.
Like that.
And so I did that for like 7 months, I think. It was a lot,
Yeah.
honestly. Because we made 2 videos a day every single day
That's
from
crazy.
September until I think my last day was end of March.
That's like a full-time gig.
I know. And it took a lot. It took a lot out of me. I love Jerome. He's amazing. We got to create a lot of really awesome stuff. But working that, and then also had another side job to kind of like, make money.
Right.
And it was just a lot. I was working like 7 days a week. The freelance thing became much bigger than my previous job had ever been. So I was like, this is a lot. And I realized I was just like burning out really quickly and like working every single day. When I'm passionate about something, I'm like, yes, write a script for a YouTube video on Saturday. I'm like really excited about that. But like it was a lot. It was a lot of videos. And if I wanted to take time off, I had to like edit them all in the few weeks prior. It was just a lot. It was really fun. Like I said, side quest. I'm on a side quest right now, freelance.
Yeah, I love it. I love
and I
that.
learned a lot.
I'm sure. I could only imagine like 2 videos a day with someone that has 5.4 million subscribers, and like insane. And let's
idol.
Yeah, let's not forget the One Direction of Minecraft here, because that the very chat is loving that.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. They were the One Direction of Minecraft.
Okay, so you took the gig, you were working on that, and that lasted. How did you feel about this freelance experience? Like what did that, was this the first time you've ever done that side quest of freelance, or is that something that you like continue to be like, okay, this is something I can do in maybe smaller quantities, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think how do I want to go about this? Freelance has been very interesting. It has been Very hard. I've been very lucky because the stars aligned and JeromeASF reached out to me, and then at the same time, I've been doing this like LinkedIn other gig for a while. Like I was filling in for an old coworker.
Okay.
And then once he got a new job, I got to slide in and like take his spot doing that every single day. Typical like 9 to 5 hours. Um, and doing both was just really hard
Yeah.
because it'd be like wake up early, make a TikTok on my lunch break, and then make a TikTok after. So I had three, and then I have a good flow going.
Right.
Um, Freelance has been very interesting. If you think you want to go freelance, research first. If you have chronic illnesses and don't want to pay for your own insurance, probably don't do freelance. One of those things that I'm like learning. Um, Insurance is very expensive,
Yeah.
and having a job that has offers benefits is really great. So consider that. Um, I unfortunately am chronically ill, so that's one of those things where I'm like $400 to go to the doctor. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's yeah. I probably should have thought about that first. Um, but I don't know. I'm also the kind of person who doesn't like to do the same thing forever. So freelance is fun in that way where I'm like, now I'm doing this, now I'm
Yeah.
doing that, now I'm doing this. Sometimes I do tournament operations and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is really fun too. And
Yeah.
it's really exciting. And I feel very lucky for everything to have aligned in this way. But
Yeah.
freelance is not for everybody. So can consider that
Yeah. You
if
get
you want to go
you get the
freelance.
variety, right? Like
You get
that's
the
it's
variety
fun, but foundation is always good. You know, having the reliable is a good thing.
for sure.
So talk to me a little bit about CEN and college esports
Yeah.
news. Let's start at the beginning. Talk to me about just kind of founding this, bringing it together, and launching.
Yeah. So in 2022, I had a job and I got laid off, and that really sucked, unfortunately. But that's life. So you move on.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to get a job, but in the meantime, what if I do this other thing that I'm really excited about? And to take you back one more jump further, in 2020, there was this Twitter account called Click Start You, and it was, to my knowledge, the first ever college esports focused news account. And I was like, this is the coolest account of all time. This is awesome. I was still in school, and I saw the account pop up, and I was like, I need to know more. Immediately, I need to know more. So I reached out to that account, and I was like, please tell me everything. Why did you start this? I'm so excited about this. How can I be involved? And they're like, you can't be involved. Thank you for the support. Um, but yeah. And I was like, can I send my resume immediately? And they were like, sure. And I was like, okay. So I sent them my resume. This is why networking on Twitter is always a good idea.
Yeah.
Ended up getting my first job from said networking opportunity. Click Start You doesn't exist anymore. And when I got the job, I wasn't allowed to work on that. We were working on tournament ops for Madden and stuff. If you know, you know. But I was really taken by that concept, that idea of Click Start You. I was like, no one's doing this. No one's making news media content around college esports. And I have time right now. I'm looking for a job. It has to be me. I need to do it. So I was like, I've always said this. I was going to do college esports news until I got a job or until I got bored. I ended up getting a job pretty quickly after getting laid off, but I never got bored of what we were doing at college esports news. So I was like, let's lock in, let's do it. So in 2022, laid off from my job, have this fun idea. I rally the troops. I call my friends from Florida State Esports. I'm like, I have this idea. Hear me out. Let's do this. And so I had the amazing Ziva, Justin, Ashton, Maria, all join in, each taking a different role of things that they were really good at. Justin was amazing at videos and content in that way. Ashton had amazing vision, amazing creative graphic design skills. Ziva, amazing at social media. And Maria was a fantastic writer. And I was like, I'm assembling the team. We're going to do this. And so then we just started. We just started making videos about College Overwatch, RIP, College Hearthstone, also RIP, and College Rocket League, which, well,
still around, still kicking.
Still around. It looks different, but it's still around. And then we were just like, yeah, let's do this. Let's see what happens. And then it honestly blew up. I was really surprised that a lot of people really liked it. And honestly, semester after semester, we were just gaining so many followers and so many people who wanted to be involved and wanted to also make content with us. And yeah, no, it's been a lot, honestly.
Yeah. And at one point you had like, and you were kind of like managing like 50 different volunteers and contractors there. Yeah. First, how and what keeps you motivated in that? Because that's a lot to take on.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's a lot. It's no surprise that many of us burned out so quickly along the way. But honestly, just the passion around the project and everyone just really believing in it, in the idea of what we were doing, that really is the reason that like we've worked through burnout.
Yeah.
Not a good idea, obviously, but done it. And like it has given me so many leadership skills. And like, yes, I was a leader at Florida State Esports. I was doing the social media thing, started gathering people to help with like production and stuff, but like this is an entirely different beast where like people are asking me questions, what should I do? And I'm like, I don't know.
You're in charge.
What are you good at? Like, but I'm in charge, so I can't say I don't know. I just have to say, what can you do? Yeah. It's a lot. Honestly, it's kind of like running an esports club, I would imagine.
And then obviously you've kind of brought this up, so I want to talk about it, burnout, because that is a real thing. If you've been in this space, there's probably a good chance that you've experienced it. Talk to me about what do you do when those things come up and you're feeling burnt out? Like, how do you manage that and still save the projects that you're working on and not let them go down in flames?
Yeah, for sure. Such a good question. I kind of knew this question was coming too, and I did not prepare. Well,
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. We'll work through it together.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. Whiteboard time. Good question. So when we have projects that we have to get done, at the end of the day, they need to get done.
Yeah.
So I, unfortunately, as a founder, have a hero mentality where it's like if you can't do it and you can't do it or you're too busy, I will do it. Yeah. I will do it. I will be there. So a lot of that at first, and then when the opportunity presents itself, I'm like, I need a break. I need to like step away for a second. That's kind of what happened recently with we are on a hiatus right now.
Right.
And honestly, it's just because it got to the point where it's like, this is kind of a lot for everybody.
Yeah.
And because we don't have foundations in place to prevent said burnout or help with said burnout, like we gotta hit the pause button for a second and build that in.
Yeah.
Because if we don't build it in, we're gonna do what we've done every semester, which is we're like, at the beginning of the semester, we're like, yes, this is awesome. Let's keep doing it. Let's go fast. And then at the end of the semester, we're like dragging ourselves across the finish line, like, oh my God, when will this end? So kind of have to take a step to reestablish and like add those foundations in there to prevent or just treat the burnout that's oncoming. A break is always good. Deleting Twitter from my phone has been the best break of all time. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be sad when that comes to an end. So I'm gonna have to re-download it and see what's going on. But break from social media helps. I like to tweet, and that gets me in trouble. So I have learned to stop tweeting and stop doing that, basically. So less Twitter helps me a lot. And then just being offline when I can. I love to read. I'm a big reader. I like to read more than like watch a movie or like watch television, consume media.
Yeah.
It's a nice, quiet brain. Brain's just focused on the one thing in front of me. No stimulation from audio, YouTube video playing, nothing. It's very nice. So finding those ways that you can unplug,
Yeah.
take a step back. I know everyone likes to say touch grass, but honestly, they're onto something. And then recently, I've been using my treadmill.
Okay.
The people who say that working out helps you, unfortunately, they're right.
Oh no.
So
Don't let them be
no,
right.
oh no, they're right. So
Okay.
take a
Okay.
walk.
So disconnect, exercise, and read, right? Like find another
Yeah.
avenue that's not maybe so volatile, right?
For sure. I'm also the kind of person, this is really unfortunate, maybe a Gen Z of me, but if I'm like watching something, like I'm also on my phone on
Yes.
Twitter.
Yes.
So like reading, you can't do that. I mean, you can stop and check, but you can't do both. So anything to just like dampen all the stimulations going on, I think helps.
Absolutely. So let's continue on in your journey, because there's so much more that you have done, and what goes into Sheridan here is really awesome. So you have worked in motion graphics, story, social content. You really have a great way of kind of blending your approach with design and storytelling. Talk to me about like what makes specifically in the esports and collegiate side of esports, what makes good storytelling and content from the social perspective?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, finding ways to be creative. I think when I was in college, because not many people were making media around their esports teams, some were,
Yep.
but we didn't have the Max Prosters back then. Like he was just getting started. Max Proster, he is my inspiration. If I one day get to work with that man, I will be so happy. He is so incredibly talented. Um, what was I saying? Train of thought.
That's okay. Talking about
Creativity.
storytelling and esports, collegiate
Storytelling.
esports, like what makes it, like why is this content successful for you? Like what it goes into your kind of workflow when it comes to that?
Yeah, I think showing people having a good time and getting down to the actual story of it. With Stay Plugged In, I got to make this really cool video about Cumberland University esports. And yes, it was about winning, I guess.
Yeah.
It was about like doing well competitive wise, but it was really about like they have a slogan that's watch greatness happen. And like that really calls to me because I'm like, this is really cool. How do they embody greatness every day? And so telling their story of like their boot camps before the semester, um, how team and family is so important to these players from across the different teams. I talked to, I think, a Call of Duty player, an Overwatch player, a Rocket League player. I talked to like everybody.
Yeah.
And they all had like such great things to say and really painted the picture of family at Cumberland University. And being able to tell a story in that way, I think recently they've had competitive success, but when I had made the video, really what stuck out to me about them was their coach, Coach Claypool, and just the person that he is so inspiring to me that I was like, I need to tell this story. I need to tell the story about this program, about this individual that is so just incredible. Um, Honestly, I just really love a good story. At College Esports News, we made our only program spotlight about Drexel and about partially about their CS:GO team. Yeah, CS:GO. Scared me for a second. I know it's called CS2 now, but um, about their CS:GO team, we talked to Claire, Zumi, and just like painting the picture of like a student club that has battled to stand out to their university administrators. And what was really exciting about that one is it all came to a head. Their CS2 team won NACE, some sort of NACE, I can't remember. I'm so sorry. At hosted at Butler
Okay, yeah.
University.
So well,
And
that was probably grand
20
finals then. That was probably, was that
yeah,
fall
grand finals. It was so
2023
cool.
maybe?
2023 sounds correct. 2023, yes. I brought my dad. We got to go. It was really
That's
awesome.
awesome.
And so being able to tell a story, not necessarily like the story of the champions, but just story of like inspiring individuals or inspiring like battles through how do we get recognized by our school,
Right.
how do we do this. So I'm drawn to a lot of those stories, and honestly just storytelling in general. Like that's why we do college esports news. We want to tell stories. We want to tell you about these really cool things you might not know is going on in XYZ school or tournament. And I think telling those stories is always going to be so valuable because I guess like going back to my resume thing that I was talking about, I can showcase those numbers and
Yeah.
I can tell you the results, but the context around it, the actual like story there is so much more important. Does that answer your question?
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. Like that's
Okay,
incredible. I
cool.
mean, I think it makes me want to ask like 8 more questions. So like, tell me about this. No, that's really cool because I think, it's easy to get lost in like trying to, oh, I need to do this, or I need this to go viral, or I need the views on this, and
Yeah.
all that stuff will come if
Mhm.
you tell the right story, right? If you're putting
Yeah.
in the time and the effort and building, the from the heart, if you will, like those things I think go a much longer way when you're actually really putting in the time. And I feel like we're starting to see that a lot more in collegiate now. Like that is really exciting. You're seeing these great,
Yes.
great content pieces put out by different universities, and just looking at them, like we were lucky, we hosted the NACE Grand Finals this year, and got to see the top 8 teams from all these different schools come, and they had their content people right there with them. They were part of the team. They were going and they were just pumping stuff out, and it was very cool to see. So like I love leading with that story driven aspect, first, and that's like such a cool part of what you're doing. Talk to me a little bit about like analyzing that sort of stuff, because I know that for some of the jobs that you've had, you've really kind of looked at the analytics and getting into like
Mhm.
content performance and why those metrics mattered to you.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's like two answers to this. Analytics was something I never even considered until I got to my first job. And my boss was like, hey, I want you to collect monthly metrics of our social media. This is my first ever job, so I didn't, and they knew that, which was really exciting. I don't know if other people's first jobs are like this, where either you get thrown in the deep end or you have someone who's like, hey, here's your job description, but here's this thing that I'm gonna. I don't think he knew, or maybe he did know that he was setting me up for like the most pivotal, not pivotal, but like a really important skill to have. And something that I've been able to use across so many of my different jobs. And even with Jerome, my freelance, I was collecting all those analytics to
Yeah.
show like, here's what we did. Um, Analytics are really awesome. I like to collect them, but also with a caveat of like, if you make the coolest content piece ever and it gets 10 likes, that doesn't mean that your content piece is good or bad. Maybe anything could have happened.
Yeah.
Maybe you had a link in there and Twitter like
Hmm.
suppressed it, or like maybe it just wasn't seen by enough people. I don't think you should ever look at analytics and be like, this means good and this means bad,
Right.
because if you spend all your time looking at analytics, you are going to be really sad and feel sad and probably depressed. Like I feel that way about TikTok and YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Or I'll look at a video, I'm like, it got 100 views. Why do I do this?
Yeah.
Why do I make videos?
And
What's
it
the
took
point?
like 2 days to edit the video.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, what's the point? No, you shouldn't look at analytics that way, because ultimately, I always think, especially with YouTube and TikTok, we can talk about professionally. But with YouTube and TikTok, I'm like, did I have a good time making it?
yeah.
Yes, that's a win. With jobs, it's different. With college esports news, it's different, because at the end of the day, it reflects on me. I am also HR. I sign the paychecks, you know? So I have to consider, like, look at the performance. Is this something worth continuing to do? Is this something worth the money that we've put into it? But you also have to consider the context. How did people feel about it? I guess I could bring up an example. Like, we started to do a podcast,
Yeah.
and maybe did not achieve the amount of views that we were looking for on social, because they're like consumable clips did really well, but the longer form, we were having trouble bringing people over. However, I went to the Scholastic Esports Awards in January, and the amount of people who came up to Kenneth K-Bot, the host of Torchbearers, and said, "You're the guy.
Yeah.
You're the guy from the podcast. I love the podcast." To me, that was like
Worth it.
a win.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yep. Yeah,
Worth
that's
it.
huge.
And I know that content was good. And
Yeah.
our YouTube is our smallest platform, so no wonder. Like, that's also kind of how it is sometimes. It's your smallest platform, it's going to get less views, but it did really well on Twitter. We had really clippable moments, and it's something that I'm super proud of and excited about. And at the end of the day, we had a lot of people who really liked it, and I think we were telling the stories that matter, talking to different people, talking about different stories, talking about why awards are important, talking about why research in esports and college esports is important, conversations around players' schedules and competing in like 5 different tournaments at once, and should we keep esports as one whole full year length or semesterly? Like,
Yeah.
these are really important conversations
Yeah.
we're having. So analytics are good, but they are not everything. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. And I like that what you say about, like, you could have made one small little error where you included a link, or the link was wrong, or like you did this little thing that messed it up, and like doesn't mean it's bad video, doesn't mean bad content. Like, and that I'm also I'm taking that in, because this is a thing that has happened to me on many occasions, where you spend all day at it and then you're like, oh, that's awesome. 10
Yeah.
views. So this is great.
Yeah.
You know,
It
so
happens.
well, we do have a question from chat. It comes from probably your biggest fan, Sari. She asks, what are some simple ways that universities can help with their program storytelling if they're lacking experience or resources?
That was such a good question. I guess we're talking the university overall. Let me talk from the club perspective, right?
Yeah.
When I was at Florida State Esports, one of the biggest things that could ever happen is if the university account or the admissions account or the FSU football account interacted with us, tweeted us, retweeted us. That was like the best day ever. We would celebrate. We'd be like, FSU football noticed us. Wow, that's crazy. That is one of the biggest ways. If we're talking about the university, honestly, like, social media interaction goes a long way.
Yeah.
And it's free. If you can be retweeting, if you can be liking, if you can be like, hey, my best friend, check this out. Look at this cool content piece. That goes a really long way. And honestly, just having that opportunity for someone to learn on the go, even if they're figuring it out themselves, if they're a self-taught person, or if they're working with someone who is more knowledgeable, working together, trying to figure out, like, how do we do this? How do we showcase our teams in this sort of way?
Yeah.
Both of those are really, really great, and pretty easy ways to, like, support and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. You've had a lot of time at different organizations. You've You've done work with Supergirl Gamer Pro,
Oh,
Stay Plugged In, which you mentioned, and you got like a much like closer look at the esports ecosystem. How did like those experiences influence like your understanding of this industry?
yeah. I feel like I've seen so many different aspects of it, which has been very valuable to me. Like, I've seen it from the student perspective. I've seen it from the intern perspective. I was an intern at Supergirl Gamer Pro
Yeah,
for their series for their championship, I think. That was so long ago. Um, I feel like being able to see every angle of it has been so helpful. Um, and then like even as a founder, seeing like what it takes to create a company in this space has been the learning experience of a lifetime. I feel like it has improved my leadership skills. It has taught me about accounting. I'm not good at math, so I've learned my way around on a Google Sheets or an
yeah,
Excel spreadsheet. Amazing. And I've taken like courses on project management. I feel like I have gained all of these little skills that I can just put in my toolbox
yeah,
and use for later, which is really cool. And I don't know, some of the esports winter stuff really scares me. I know esports winter was something we talked about like
yeah,
God a year ago, and I still feel like with even the things going on in tech and like layoffs and stuff,
yeah,
that scares me a lot. And then like seeing what's happened with our some of our college leagues, like Overwatch not coming back this semester without saying anything was
yeah.
like just so strange. Um Seeing every perspective has been really, except maybe the player perspective. That's probably the only perspective I haven't gotten. And like maybe I should. Maybe I
Yeah.
should find a way. In the
Well,
esports
I
industry to
think you
find a
still
way.
get the player perspective because you've interacted with a lot of players. You're
Yeah.
telling their stories, right? Like
Yeah.
you have that. It's not necessarily the exact POV, but you
Yeah.
still are opening that up to the world through the content that you're creating, right?
Yeah, I feel like getting as many experiences as you can, even if it seems like the most random thing, or if you get an opportunity and you're like, I've never done this before, like give it a shot.
Yeah.
Because the things that I've like learned, I think will help me in like a lot of different industries. And yeah, I think it's really valuable having all that knowledge.
I agree. I agree. Uh, it is also hard to not laugh at things chat says, but
Oh, I'm so scared. I can't look. I'm terrified.
you know the funny part you mentioned about just going and doing it and getting that experience because you don't know what comes from it. I solely believe in learning by doing and trying, and you know
Oh
always
yeah.
tell people like, oh, you're interested in esports, go sign up for a tournament. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you'll probably be out in the first round or two, you know, but like you're gonna learn so much from that experience, right? You're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
learn about interacting with the people, signing up, how the brackets work, like what a TO does, like you're gonna just like have a bunch of information come at you, and that's such a great way to get started in this space. So I love, hey, go and do it. That's how my mind works. So I love that you said that. What sort of common mistakes do you see in the esports social space, and like from like a social strategy standpoint, and maybe how do you fix some of those?
That's such a good question. I think this is this is my personal pet peeve, but putting Valorant not in all caps. It is, you got to put Valorant in all caps. That's my most specific advice, I guess. But for non-specific advice, mistakes that I see, oh, I feel like it's all so subjective.
Yeah,
Like I know what my taste is when I go to tweet things. Like if I'm going to tweet something on the college esports account or even on my own account, if you see some of my college esports stuff that I've done, it is structured in a very specific way,
yeah,
but that's just because it's the style that I have built up that I am like happy with. Um that I'm like excited to present the information in.
hmm,
Personally, hate to see a paragraph of text, level one liner at the top, one liner at the bottom,
yep,
bullet points made out of emojis. Always, that's me personally. but you'll develop that taste as you keep posting. Um, we have we have worked over time to create a style guide for college esports news in particular, just based off of like to make sure everything's uniform. So if I'm posting it or if someone else is posting it, it'll all look and feel the same. Um, Social media taste is just one of those things that you kind of just learn over time.
Yeah.
You make those mistakes along the way. One of the things that I think everyone should start doing, and I know it takes a lot of time, is alt text for your images,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're going to post an image that has text on it, or if you do like a statement for your company and you put it on you put it on a graphic,
Yeah.
like copy that text, copy it, and then paste it into the alt text. And that way, anyone who's not, reading the graphic, if they are using that capability on social media, they can also read it.
Yep.
Um, Sometimes I feel like, oh, there's no excuse not to. Like, you have to use alt text. Any other mistakes? I feel like, I don't know. I It's really so subjective.
Yeah.
Like for me, I would never post something that has 3 images instead of 4. Because to
Yeah.
me, it's you got to be even numbers.
Yep.
But this is really
No,
specific to me.
I love
And
feeding it.
if you want to post a text with 3 images, that's fine. I'm not gonna look at it and say ew. I'm just gonna be like, well,
It
maybe
shouldn't
I
be
wouldn't have
4
done
though.
that.
Let's just be honest.
It
It
should be
should.
4. It's really so subjective. It's really your own taste that you'll develop over time. So
Yeah, I like
honestly,
it.
just make mistakes, and then you'll
Yeah.
think, oh, how can I do this better next time?
Yep.
That's kind of how I live my life, I guess.
I totally agree. And if you have an extra spot for a photo, then just take another one. Like make it even. That's just. I'm
I
on
don't
board
know
with
why.
this. I promise you, I am on board. We're gonna push this initiative forward. Everyone will know.
That was something that I just, that came to me on the fly. It's not even something I like sit and think about that often. Where I'm like, I hate 3 pictures on a tweet. It's just something that like just occurred to me now. So I don't know if it's probably a strong stance. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I like it. I like it. Stay strong. Stay strong with this. Talk to me about tools though, because I think that
Oh yeah.
technology and how everything's accelerating so fast, it's really important to understand the tools and workflow in this space, and what have been maybe game changers for you in content creation and social media and scheduling and all of those things. Any specific tools that you use that have really kind of changed the game for you?
I have so many. And they're really specific. So for social media scheduling, I have only really used this website called Buffer,
Okay.
and it lets you connect your accounts and like post to Instagram. I think the free version you can do 3 accounts. So I think we did Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I also personally just love to copy and paste a tweet directly into the text box.
Yep.
Um, that's my social media recommendation. If you're a video editor, let me put you onto something, okay? If you use Premiere, I don't know about any other ones. I only use Adobe Premiere. There's this plugin called Video Vault. So if you like to download things from YouTube, you can just copy the link, put it in the plugin, and it'll download it straight to your Premiere. It's amazing. You get 24 uploads a day. It's great. It
Video
doesn't do
vault.
long videos, so try to stay within the 1 hour, 2 hour
Yep.
mark.
Yep.
It's amazing. Um, oh, I hope I can remember the next one. This one costs money, but if you are a video editor and you like to do captions, like the cool animated
Yep.
captions, it's called Submachine.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You can change the colors, you can change the font, you can change the drop shadow, you can change whatever you want, and it automatically does it for you. No more automatically keyframing your captions to pop in and pop out. Okay? Love that one. I feel like I had more. I feel like I said I had a lot and now I'm blanking really hard.
I mean,
Unfortunately, I love Adobe.
yeah.
That's unfortunate for me. If you're a student,
Great.
it might be free for you.
Yeah.
So take advantage of that.
Yeah. Well, you definitely dropping the knowledge. I'm even like writing notes over here on my end. So
Oh yeah,
that's
no,
awesome.
love to help. If I spent days keyframing my own captions. I will never do it again. So that's
Absolutely.
the best tool ever, honestly.
So we are coming to the end of the show, and
Yes.
how we do the end of the show here is we give you an opportunity to tell people how they can connect with you, where they can
Okay.
find you, if there's opportunities or anything that you want to promote. You can all do it
Mhm.
in here, and then we have some kind of like rapid fire questions at the end
Oh,
to
okay.
hit off before we go. But go ahead and tell people how they can connect with you, where they can find you, all of that stuff.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at cutiepebbs. Um, that's mainly all of my social media, I think. Except for Twitch, for whatever reason, is Cutie Pebbles. It's my government Twitch name. Um, Cutie Pebbles was taken on every other
Yeah.
platform though, so Cutie Pebs will do.
Yeah.
And then College Esports News. We are College E News, I believe. And we're planning a comeback eventually
Love it.
this year. So get excited.
I love it. Awesome. Okay, so rapid fire questions time. What is the one project or piece of content that you've worked on that made you especially proud, and why?
Oh God, I'm a creative. I have too many. Um, Honestly, since talking about the Cumberland piece, I gotta say the Cumberland piece
Okay.
because that was a labor of love. Honestly, very lucky that Stay Plugged In just let me do a random thing like that. Um, because it felt really out of any of the other social media stuff we were doing. So I'm very grateful that they let me do it. Just because being able to talk to so many cool people and like get the story of watch greatness happen, what that means, what that means to everyone, not only in the esports lab, but also outside of it. How do they embody greatness outside of it? That was so cool. And Coach Claypool is one of the most inspiring people that I've ever talked to. I've never been able to meet him, maybe one day. He's incredible. His story alone is inspiring. But then getting all of his players' stories as well, just really cool.
Yeah.
I believe it's still on the Stay Plugged In YouTube channel if you
Okay.
want to check it out.
Yeah.
It's called Watch Greatness Happen, of course. And I'm really proud of it. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. All right, so if you could lead a social content for any like esports or gaming brand, who would it be, and what would you want to create?
The first answer that came to mind is The Sims.
Okay.
Like I would love to I would love to work on the Sims brand. I don't know. I don't know what I would want to do with them. Something.
Something, but
Something.
Sims. So
I
EA.
just
Okay.
love The Sims.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. How
I
do
feel like
you?
I could be creative in their realm of their realm of like their brand. So maybe
Absolutely.
I'll bring esports to The Sims. I don't
Hey,
know.
I like it. I like what you're thinking. I like what you're thinking. How do you approach community building on you kind of like your personal brand with YouTube, and versus how you work with it in like more of a professional setting?
Oh my goodness. That's such a good
It's
question.
not a rapid fire one. It's this is like a long answer
Oh,
one
I
too.
know this is like thesis worthy. Oh, good question. With social media, uh, nope, that's not what I want to say. With my own personal community, I keep it very casual, very fun. Um, because honestly, it's just me connecting with other people I don't know, strangers on the internet
Yeah.
who enjoy the same interests as me. So I try to start a dialogue in that way, where if they're responding to something that I've created, I'm like, now let me respond with my own stuff,
Yeah.
and we'll sometimes go back and forth, like multiple comments. For a professional way, it's a lot different, I guess, in a way. Because as a brand, there is community building, and with a brand, I like to still take it to something like Discord where we can like communicate, and I can communicate as me and not like as a brand. Because
Right.
as a brand, it's a lot different. There's
Yeah.
there's levels of if it's not my brand, like College Esports News, there's levels of getting approval and like how do we want to handle this, or um, just generally being supportive, like with Stay Plugged In, like hyping kids up who want to get an esports scholarship,
Yeah.
like great reel, very exciting, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, more of know your audience, know your tone kind of thing.
Yep. I love that. I love that. Well, that is it for our time. Sheridan, thank you so much for coming and joining us here on the show today. Our very next episode of Have Game Will Travel will be on May 29th with Val, aka Silver, from the marketing and events manager for St. Clair Saints. So it's going to be another great episode. Really excited. But thank you guys for watching. And until next time, we will see you later.